this fucking thing. Angle comes out, does his whole entrance. Kane comes out, does his whole entrance, attacks Angle. So I write Kurt Angle versus Kane.
Oh boy, are we on the same boat.
Because I have a functioning brain. And when I see two men fight each other on a wrestling show, I assume they are fighting.
Right.
No, everyone. They are tag team partners. The match is Kurt Angle and Kane versus Rikishi and The Rock. Now, Angle just got attacked by Kane and got his ass kicked. So he wants nothing to do with this. So Kane wrestles a handicap match against the heavyweight champion of the world and his friend, the big scary sumo wrestler, and beats the fuck out of them. At his peak, Hunter was never this dominant against impossible odds. He just leveled them, man. For like 10 minutes, he got the heat on them. Both of them. All I could think was, if Dwayne Johnson had not been The Rock, this would have been the worst title reign. So horrible. Then Kurt is a moron.
Worse than Booker T.
Well,
That's what I thought.
forget about the other show.
It's pretty bad. All I know is Kane beat on him forever because they had so much time to kill. And so Kane puts The Rock in a side chinlock on the mat. I'm like, oh my God. We don't need an overrun. You're winning. You're destroying World Championship Wrestling.
That's right.
We don't need to sit here in a chinlock on the mat.
So Kurt, being a moron, decides, now that Kane's beat them, I'm going to ask this man who just punched me in the face repeatedly to tag me in. So Kane grabs him, chokeslams him up into the air and down into the ring. He has now killed 3 men. He has killed the gold medal winner. He has killed the heavyweight champion of the earth. And he has killed the big scary sumo wrestler. Then he just leaves. Why did he bother coming out?
He did all he had to do.
So Kane leaves. They beat up Angle for a while. Rock hits the rock bottom. Rikishi hits a sit-down splash. Rikishi pins Kurt Angle. This is to build Kurt Angle versus The Rock at the pay-per-view. What on earth? What on earth happened here?
There's a lot of that on this show. What's going on?
I was so...
Who's low down? It started there, really.
The whole show screwed up when they showed up. That's not the end of the show.
This seriously was like we missed 10 shows. You know what I'm saying? China and Eddie are breaking up because he's a philanderer, and Kane and Angle are fighting each other, but they're a team, and Rikishi's pinning Kurt, and Crash is the culprit. There's so much stuff going on. Then Rikishi does the show closing promo. Has he ever cut a promo on television that's more than like 10 seconds long?
Well, the answer is no. And if you watch this promo, you would understand why. So Foley comes out. He says all the evidence points to The Rock. It was his rental car. And they add, they found your DNA in that car.
What?
What was he doing? What was The Rock doing in his rental car? That's creepy. Then, despite the fact that all the evidence points to Rock, Foley says, I declare The Rock not guilty. It was you. And he points at Rikishi. And he says, Scotty said he was backstage partying with Rikishi. But Rikishi had not even debuted in the WWF yet. What was he doing there except being The Rock's friend and family? He had access to The Rock's keys. He had access to The Rock's car. And I must note, he says, the mirrors in that rental car were configured for a very large man.
The Rock's not a very large man.
A year later, Mick Foley went to Hertz and said, excuse me, I need to examine car 54 or whatever.
Where are you?
And he looks at these mirrors and says, God damn, I'm a big man. These mirrors are way out of position even for me. This driver must have been very huge.
So knowing that, Vinny, he decided to interview Crash Hall
and Scotty Too
Linda McMahon.
Linda.
Deborah.
This is... Dude.
This is stupid storytelling.
Yeah. So, Rikishi confesses, and we get the Rikishi promo. And when I say the Rikishi promo, I honestly don't think he ever cut another one after this.
Nor should he.
No, it's.
I mean, honest to God,
it's not horrible.
The reveal that Rikishi was the driver was so stupid and so hated back then. But I have to give them credit because nowadays you see all sorts of stupid things and swerves and surprises, and nobody ever explains anything. At least Rikishi came out and said, listen, I ran this dude over for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
I did it for the Island Boys. Yes. Because the Island Boys, he says, they never got a chance. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? The Rock never got a chance? There's one standing there right now with the belt on his shoulder.
Alpha and Sika were tag team champions. Jimmy Snuka challenged Bob Backlund all the time.
Yokozuna.
Thank God for Rikishi. Roman Reigns would never be around.
That's true.
So Rikishi did it for the Island Boys. His company has always been about the Great White Hope, he says. The Rock had been held back. And so he had to do what he had to do. And he says, you know what? I take full responsibility. You being you the way you are today, Rock, it's good enough for me. I don't want any help. I want y'all to know The Rock had nothing to do with this. But before I go, I want y'all to know one more time. I ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. And to tell you the truth, I'd do it again. He leaves. That's the end of the show.
It's the end of the dancing.
It wasn't a horrible promo, but this is a year-long storyline involving the biggest star in WWE. Who ran over Steve Austin? And at the end of the day, Rikishi ran him over for the Island Boys. Now, of course, at the end of the day, spoiler alert, Hunter is actually behind this. We'll get to that later. But that's the story they told on this show.
I think Crash actually could have cut a better promo here.
I'm sure.
With the same motivation, by the way. He's a big fan of Island Boys.
I was going to say, I don't think it's the same motivation. No, he'd do an even easier promo. Us little guys never get a chance.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sick of these big dudes. I ran him over. Then I won the hardcore title 45 times, so it was great.